How's it going, my truant people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back on Pokemon Showdown for Week 6 of the ABC, that's the Associated Battle Community. I'm your coach of the Bowland Bovines, and this week we're going up against my man Jack and Brazumarill, his Brazumarill team, which is a pretty cool name. Brazumarill? I don't really know. But anyway, it's a pretty cool team name, regardless. Jack is someone that we've played once with a team that I hadn't really drafted properly and wasn't really sure what I was doing. I wasn't putting a lot of time in, so this is kind of like our first major game against each other. And I should apologise in advance, guys, because the team's not going to be down on the layout this week. I am right in the middle of my deadline. I believe I said this in my last episode as well, or in my last week's battle as well, whatever it was, I don't quite know. But I'm right in the middle of my deadlines. I've got 4 days. 4 days until it's all over. I'm doing 12-hour days in the library. It is just gone 1 a.m. right now. I've literally just got back, hence the big coat and stuff. It is freezing in my house. I've just got back from like a 12-hour shift, so in the library, not work or anything, but still, it's killing me. So there's not going to be any teams on the layout or anything, because I just want to get this done, because I had this battle while I was in the library, mid-sesh. We hopped onto Showdown, we did this, so I kind of wanted to just commentate over it while it was fresh in my memory, while I was still awake just about. So I apologise if the commentary seems a little off, or I look a little tired, or a little bit all over the place, or whatever. I'm sure you guys won't even notice. It's like normal. What I have to do before we start this out is give a huge shout out to Jack for being so cool about the scheduling. He was really, really understanding, as he always has been. Every interaction, I don't know Jack super well, but every interaction I've had with him has always been an absolute pleasure. He's a really, really nice guy, so shout out to him. And shout out to Aquarius, because Aquarius built a lot of this team, selected the 6 mons certainly, and gave me some ideas of sets and win cons ish, and then I kind of like tweaked them and just put my own spin on things so that I felt comfortable with the team. But I would not have been able to do it if it wasn't for Aquarius' help, so shout out to them. If I remember, their link will be down in the description. Go show them some love, guys, because they upload really, really good content. If I haven't put your link in the description, Aquarius, then shout out me, please, and I'll put it there. So, starting off quite fittingly with Aquarius, our Hydreigon. This was not the exact set that was recommended. This is a Dr. Slacking special. We're running what we realised is that he doesn't have very good dark switchings, and the only dark switching he does have is Sylveon. So I decided to change it up and run a physical Hydreigon this week. The idea being that I could crunch into his Sylveon switch, and then fire off an Iron Tail. If he's a Spadef Sylveon, that always kills. If he's a physical Sylveon after rocks, that kills. If not, then I at least really chunk down the Sylveon. He's presumably going to go for the Hyper Voice on my Iron Tail. And I'm going to put him down to about 30%. So it really puts him in a difficult position. So that's what we kind of wanted to do, to either kill or wear down the Sylveon, because the Sylveon is a problem. It is something we want to handle. Crunch is pretty spammable against his team, and Fire Blast is on there for coverage for his Mega Scizor. And I should tell you guys, before we do that, let me talk you through his draft. Sorry, very quickly, I completely forgot. His draft is Mega Scizor, Sylveon, Weezing, Pelipper, Latios, Ludicolo, Lycanroc Day, Rotom Mow, Miltank, Hippowdon, and Floatzel. So the things to note there, Pelipper, Hippowdon. Dual kind of weather, but I don't expect the Hippowdon to run Sand, because he has all these rain abusers in the Mega Scizor, in the Ludicolo, and in the Floatzel. And then he also has 3 Z users. That is Z Floatzel, Z Ludicolo, and Z Floatzel, Ludicolo, and Lycanroc Day. Now, Aquarius, when they were building this team, told me to really, the reason that we're not going to have Scolipede on this team is to watch out for Lycanroc Day with a Cell Rock that could stop my sweeper Scolipede that I've been bringing a lot, so we expected to see that. We also expected to see like the Latios, but we noticed that he had a bit of an ice weakness that we could maybe try and play on a little bit. But yeah, they were the kind of things we were looking to see potentially. So yeah, this thing can pretty much spam Crunch, and then into Iron Tail, and maybe pick up a surprise KO on that Sylveon. With the Iron Plate, if he calcs the Crunch, he's going to see that we're not banded. He's going to see that we're jolly, and he's going to think he can live the Iron Tail. This isn't a Z user. So I'm hoping that we can pick up a surprise kill with this Iron Plate, boosting that Iron Tail damage, but who knows. Next up, obviously this, we have enough speed to outspeed, I believe it is Rotom Mow. I was speed creeping with this set and then slapped the rest in HP. Next up we have Nico, Aaron Polion. This is primarily our Rock Setter and our Defogger in this game. I don't think that Rocks are going to be super important necessarily, and I don't think that Defog is going to be super important necessarily, although I would prefer to have Defog if I can, which is why this final move is Defog and not U-Turn. For something that I will discuss later on in the build, why I kind of want to have Defog, why I've got double Defog here. Maybe could have had Roost, maybe should have had Roost, but went with double Defog for reasons that will be explained. Next up we have so Nico with Scald, Stealth Rock, and Defog. the Signal Beam is coverage for the Latios. We pretty much wall the Latios otherwise. He might be running Earthquake if he decides to bring a physical Latios, which is unlikely. And he might bring a Thunderbolt for coverage, but we're not going to get one-shot by either of those. So we could switch into a Psychic, take a Thunderbolt, and fire a Signal Beam for like 50-60%. This special attack means that we do chunk things down. I don't know exactly what Aquarius had the special attack investment for, because these EVs I didn't really tinker with at all, I don't think. I think these were the exact EVs suggested by Aquarius. I just added Defog and chose Signal Beam over Ice Beam, I believe. Not quite sure, though. Not 100% on that one. Next up, we have... why would I... Maybe this thing doesn't get Ice Beam. Does this thing not get Ice Beam? It does get Ice Beam. Why did I choose Signal Beam over Ice Beam? It's lower power. What was I trying to hit with Signal Beam? Oh, the Ludicolo. The Ludicolo. That's why I went with Signal Beam. That's why. Because this thing could also take hits from Ludicolo, which could be a potential problem. So that's why we have Signal Beam on there. Next up, we have Gypsy the Togekiss. Now, I can't remember what this thing's name originally was. I had a nickname for it, which I put good research into, and I've forgotten it already. So, because it's old No Name, it's No Name Gypsy, named after No Name Gypsy, now just known as No Name. Most of you probably won't know who that is. This American female rapper, someone that I quite like, although I never got into them as much as I perhaps should have, because I couldn't afford the album at the time when Telephone, I believe it was, came out. But regardless, because her name is No Name, formerly No Name Gypsy, and this Togekiss has had no name all season, it is now just named Gypsy. Very simple. Very, very simple name. Made it how much more complicated it was. This EV spread essentially is to do something. I think I definitely live a Bullet Punch from a Scizor quite comfortably. I take Thunderbolts from a Latios quite easily. I take Hyper Voices from a Sylveon relatively easily. Enough speed to make sure that nothing can try and speed creep me like the Weezing. And then the rest in Special Attack and HP, I assume. I'm not quite sure. With Air Slash, Thunder Wave, Heal Bell, and Roost. Again, this set was a little bit tweaked from what Aquarius suggested. Decided not to go with a Nasty Plot set as Aquarius wanted me to do, purely because I just felt that if I wanted to 1v1 the Sylveon, which I thought this thing did really, really well, I felt that Heal Bell was more useful for Toxic than Nasty Plot. I wouldn't necessarily need to boost up on the Sylveon. I could just Thunder Wave it and then Power Flinch it down. And this was our first of 2 win cons in this game. Gypsy, really, if I could get Thunder Wave spread around the whole team, I could just kind of run through it. I mean, that's what Togekiss does. So just spread the Paralysis around, be bulky, and then wear things down with Power Flinch. Next up, we have Pamela. Pamela the Megalopony. Now, this set had a really, really good matchup. I expected him to bring a couple of things to try and check it. Primarily the Weezing. We thought Fizz Def Weezing was almost a guaranteed bring because nothing else. You know, Miltank, for example, does not want to take a high jump kick. Powdon doesn't really want to take a high jump kick. Latios can take a high jump kick perhaps, but doesn't want to return. Mega Scizor doesn't really want a high jump kick. So, and I did have the option of running Fire Punch, but I decided to run Thunder Punch instead because I wanted to hit the... I could have hit the Rosemoda as well, to be fair. What did I want to hit? I wanted to hit the Pelipper, because otherwise Fizz Def Pelipper, you know, maybe would take a little bit, and he might want to, I don't know. I just thought Thunder Punch for the Pelipper. Maybe that was the wrong play. Maybe Fire Punch would have been better, but I decided to go with Thunder Punch. It also hits the Floatzel as well, I guess. So, yeah, that's what we went with. And Fire Punch would have been resisted by the Miltank as well. Not that it really was ever a switch into Megalopony, but, yeah, I don't know. Fake Out into Return always kills Latios, maybe? There was something that I always revenged with Fake Out into Return. Maybe it was like Floatzel after Rain, Ludicolo after Rain, it had gone down. Either way, basically, Fake Out into Return, guaranteed to kill something to revenge. So, oh, maybe Sylveon. If it was a Spadef Sylveon, I think Fake Out into Return always killed Sylveon. Potentially needed rocks as well, I'm not quite sure on that one. And also, Fake Out's just a really nice way of stalling Rain. If I have to just like go out from Pamela into one of my Bulkymons and then come back in and click Fake Out and then go out and do it again to stall out Rain after Pelipper's gone down, I'll do that. I'll do that if I have to stall out Rain turns. So that's why we like Fake Out on there. Next up, we got Sean the Slowbro. This is an AV set. This is pretty much entirely Aquarius' work, I believe, with Scold, Psychic, Ice Beam, and then I chose to run Fire Blast over. Not quite sure what the final move was. Could have been Signal Beam. I've got a feeling it was Signal Beam. But I chose to run Fire Blast because I want to be able to hit that Mega Scizor. You may be noticing a pattern here that so far we've got Fire Blast and Mega Scizor. a Skull to try and burn the Mega Scizor, Thunderwave plus Air Slash to try and Power Flip the Mega Scizor, High Jump Kick for the Mega Scizor is enough. And then Fire Blast. I just want to make sure that every single mon can hit that damn thing. Like, I just don't want to deal with Mega Scizor. It scares me. It can sweep teams. So if you just bring everything that hits it, then you're going to be okay. That's my theory with Mega Scizor anyway. That's the way I've always tried to play it. So we're really modest. We can do a lot amount of damage with this set. AV means we can just pivot out to get the regenerator health back, and we can really eat up any special hits with that Spadef investment, natural bulk, and an AV. Whew, we are eating special attacks. Next up we have Scrub, the Talonflame. And Scrub here is a really interesting set. This one was kind of me, I guess. This was the most me set here. I really wanted to run a Talonflame that could check Mega Scizor. This thing switches into Mega Scizor and takes less than 50%. It takes 20% max from an Adamant Scizor Bullet Punch. And it takes, like, so that means it takes like 40% max from a +2 Adamant Scissor Bullet Punch. Mega, you understand. I'm so tired because we're impish with a lot of defense, quite a lot of HP. So the idea being, we can come in on rocks, maybe snag the burn on the first Bullet Punch. If he goes for a Swords Dance, that's fine. We just overheat him into Oblivion, and he can't do more than 40%. Will-O-Wisp is there if we want to burn something like the Hippowdon. Acrobatics plus Pasho Berry is kind of fun because if we end up not checking the Mega Scizor but checking something like the Ludicolo, then potentially, I don't know about in rain, but we can definitely take a Life Orb Hydro Pump through the Pasho and fire off a massive Acrobatics in return because this thing will outspeed us if the rain is up. And if the rain isn't up, it might not. But, you know, that was an oversight, I guess. Because I don't know if we live in the rain. I don't know. Maybe this set makes no sense. But Roost, of course, for longevity. Yeah, maybe this set makes absolutely no sense. I'm not quite sure. Regardless, that's the Scrub Talonflame that we are bringing here. All that being said, guys, let's jump into this battle. And I forgot to say at the beginning, it is a doozy. It is a cracker. It is one of the best games of the season. And I know I say that a lot, and I know that Tony is going to be like, when do you ever say it's not the best game? But, like, it's not the best game we've ever had, but it's one of. Like, this is a superb game in my opinion. I'm going to shut up now, let's watch the game. And I say I'm going to shut up now, but I'm not. I'm going to talk all the way through the battle, because that's what I'm here for. So I don't know why I said I'm going to shut up. But let's jump into the game. We can see he's got the Rotom Mow, the Mega Scizor, the Sylveon, the Latios, the Hippowdon, and the Weezing. Now, crucially, no Z users here, so we do not have to fear any Z moves this game, which is awesome. No rain, which really took me by surprise, and no rain abusers, which means that this thing could be sand, just for Chip. But Chip works two ways, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. Definitely thinking Fizz Def Weezing to switch into the Mega Lopunny. Either Rocky Helmet or Leftovers looks a dead cert, depending on what rolls he's trying to get or how he's trying to wear me down. If he thinks I'm a fake out, set Rocky Helmet makes more sense. If he thinks I'm just going to spam and return, which I have been doing all season, Leftovers makes more sense. So we've got to scout for that. Hippowdon seems likely to be Fizz Def as well. Potentially like Stealth Rocks, Earthquake, Slack Off, Toxic is what I'd have to guess. Slack Off, Toxic is what I'd have to guess. Latios is potential Scarfer on the team to revenge kill Lopunny. I think that's pretty likely, so we'll see about that. Then the Sylveon, I expect to be like a Wish, Protect, Hyper Voice, and then probably Toxic or Heal Bell as the final move. Maybe Baton Pass? And then Mega Scizor I expect to be like an SD Bullet Punch set. I don't think it really has a necessary defensive matchup, so I do expect it to be physically offensive, maybe like an Adamant Max Attack type set. And then here we have the Rotom Mow. This thing could be anything. I expect it to definitely be his Pivot and his Defog. But other than that, because I don't think Scizor will necessarily be Defog, I think it'd be like Swords Dance, Roost, Bullet Punch, maybe Bug Bite for the like Hydreigon. So yeah, that's the kind of set that I'm thinking. This thing will probably be his Defog or his Volt Switcher with Leaf Storm and Thunderbolt. So I'm thinking like Thunderbolt. No, Volt Switch, Defog, Thunderbolt, Leaf Storm. Yes, exactly. That's the set I'm kind of anticipating. So all that being said, here looking at the lead matchup, I don't really fancy any of my leads. It was a weird one. I kind of wanted to lead Nico and try and get rocks up, but I looked at his team and I really didn't feel like rocks were that essential. Muck takes normal, but this resists. Everything else is neutral, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like rocks were going to be doing that much in a game with the options that he had. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe. But instead I decided to lead with Slowbro, just to try and also I wanted to preserve Nico for his defog later on to try and help the Talonflame out a little bit. So I decided to lead with Slowbro because I really feel like it's a good neutral option. I don't think he'll lead with the Sizzle, and it pretty much leads against everything else, especially the Hippowdon, which could be his Stealth Rock lead. So I am completely wrong. We lead with Gypsy. Why do we lead with Gypsy? For the same reasons, basically for the same reasons. So I can try and flinch down the Hippowdon and stop him getting rocks up that way, so that I can handle pretty much any other lead on his team apart from the Rotom Mow. My memory is not so good, so we decided to just go straight out here into Aquarius. There's no reason to stay on this thing. I know he's going to Volt Switch, and I know I can take one, and then I could have just Thunder Waved, but it didn't seem worth. So we stay in, and he goes out into Sylveon, and the reason that I like this is because it gives me Empoleon essentially for free, but he makes an amazing play. Now, turn 2 this is. I have to say, this is like one of the plays of the game, because it sounds stupid, but I'll explain why. We go Gypsy, as I've said. He goes Rotom. He Volt Switches on my Hydreigon switch, and he brings in the Sylveon. Now, the Sylveon does give a number of my Pokemon a completely free switch-in. It gives Slowbro a completely free switch-in. It kind of gives Talonflame a free switch-in depending on my build. It gives Empoleon a free switch-in. It gives Togekiss a not bad switch-in if it's not Specs. So he's really in a position where I have so many free switches, he doesn't get a lot out of Hyper Voicing. Nevertheless, I can't stay in and risk a Hyper Voice. I have to switch, and he knows that. So it is the safest double in the world for him to go into Latios on my Empoleon and really threaten me out. Now, had I gone into Togekiss, he might have been in a bit of a worse position. But I decided to go Empoleon as my safest play. And at this point, I'm thinking, right, so he's made that double. That's an aggressive double. I'm certain this Latios has got coverage. It can't be Z, though, so I know I take an Earthquake, and I know I take a Thunderbolt. I want to scout and see what kind of Latios this is. I need to know if it's Scarf. I need some information. If he is Earthquake, I have some really good switch-ins. If he's Thunderbolt, I have some really good switch-ins. But again, it depends if he's going to be choice locked or not, because then I'm going to have to pivot around again. He's already shown he's willing to be aggressive, so I don't want to overestimate. So actually what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go for the Signal Beam. As he reveals the Thunderbolt, doing 65%. We get paralyzed off the Thunderbolt, 10% chance. But we do get paralyzed. We fire for Signal Beam, so it doesn't matter. The paralysis is irrelevant. We do 43%. Now this tells me a couple of things. One, it tells me that I didn't calc how much I should have been doing to his set with Signal Beam, so I have no idea what kind of HP investment he has. But two, what I did calc is the damage he did to me at 65% means he is a modest Latios, or some kind of boosting item like a Zap Plate maybe, but I suspect more likely to be like modest Scarf. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this looks like a modest Scarf Latios. Makes sense, you know, potentially revenge killing Lopunny all the time. So yeah, I'm feeling you on that one. You couldn't try and speed creep a +1 Scolipede because I outspeed you. So yeah, okay, I could see modest being viable here. With a lot of bulk, perhaps. So I just stay in and let Nico go down. He's done his bit. He's got enough chip on the Latios to where I can revenge kill it with Lopunny fairly easily. So we go out into Pamela, and there's no reason for me to click Fake out here. I'm just going to fire off a huge return. As he goes out into Weezing, we get to see if he has Rocky Helmet or Leftovers. We knew this would be the switch in, and we see we do 40%, which is really nice, but he is Rocky Helmet, so he's not getting any of that back. What that means now is that 60%, he won't live 2 more returns, but I am almost certain this is going to be a Pain Split. And I do not want Pamela to get worn down by a Rocky Helmet Pain Split set. There's just no need. So I'm going to go out into Slowbro, because if he Pain Splits me, that's fine. Yes, he's going to get some HP back, but I can just regenerate off the HP he takes from me. And I'm in a position to now just fire off an Ice Beam. He has no resists. He goes out into Sylveon, and I'm like, okay, Sylveon isn't really a great switch into me, but he can Wish. And I want to keep some offensive momentum as he fires up a Hyper Voice. Not what I was expecting. Now here, we're in a pretty nice position. We see that Hyper Voice does 28%. That's nothing. It shows me that he's not Specs. He's definitely a bulky set. And I just want to get a Thunder Wave on this thing. That's all I want. If this thing has a Thunder Wave, it is out of the game. I can kill it with Air Slashes. I can kill it with a Crunch into Iron Tail. I can kill it with a couple of returns. It's just going to be in such a bad position if I can get this Thunder Wave off on it. So we just click T-Wave here, and he stays in, which is amazing, but we miss the T-Wave, which hurts. He apologized in the chat. He knows that sucks. But it's fine, because the other thing that I've still got in my mind is, hey, this might be Heal Bell. All I want to do is I want to scout for Heal Bell, because I don't want to start Thunderwaving everything on his team, trying to spread that paralysis around if he's got Heal Bell anyway. He goes for the Wish here. And I'm going to double back out into my Slowbro. Try and maintain some offensive pressure, because I think that his best switch into my Thunder Wave is going to be his Hippowdon. And that's exactly what it is. So his Wish essentially being nullified, just PP being wasted. I'm going to fire off an Ice Beam here. I don't expect him to stay in, but if he does super effective damage, and he does stay in, we do 47%, meaning a Scald will kill from this range. I don't think there's any way he's going to go into the Latios here in case I Ice Beam again. So we just Scald again, and we burn the Sylveon here. And I'm thinking, well, you know, that's fine. It's annoying because it means I can't Thunder Wave it, but maybe he has Heal Bell. You know, you never know. He fires off a Wish here, and we go for a Psychic, hoping to try and play for those Spadef drops. And we actually get the crit, so we put him really, really low, and we know he has to protect this turn because otherwise I'd knock him out with Psychic. So we're free to go into Pamela. The reason that I like this play going into Pamela on his Protect is that whilst, yes, he gets his Wish back up, this thing now is at 73%. It is really, really going to struggle against Mega Lopunny. In fact, Mega Lopunny just kills it with Fake Out into return, guaranteed. And I'm looking at this team and I'm starting to think, okay, Mega Lopunny is starting to kill things. Like, if we can get the Latios scarfed into something that doesn't hurt us, or we can get more chip on the Latios, that's going to die to a Fake Out, or we can maybe take a hit from it. The Hippowdon is getting to a range where it can't really take a high jump kick. The Weezing at 89% can't live a Fake Out into double return. So that's really important. So I'm just looking at this team like, okay, we're really starting to wear things down. Now here I go for the Fake Out because it guarantees that I kill this Sylveon with the following return. I know that Weezing's a safe play, but what this means is that I guarantee kill Weezing with 2 more returns. And more importantly, it's not worth his time pain splitting. So now he's at 75% and I guarantee kill him with 2 more returns. I'm going to take some more Rocky Helmet chip, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. As long as I definitely kill this thing, we're in a pretty good position. So Fake Out just seemed like the sensible play for me there. Keeping him healthy in a way was more beneficial. And we can go out into Aquarius. Aquarius isn't doing a lot in this game at this point. Well, yeah, it's doing something, but against the Scarf, Latios, it might struggle. And the reason that I went into this specifically is because I wanted to defog. I wanted to get those rocks gone, and I knew I would threaten out the Weezing, sorry. He has to keep it around. It's his physical wall. It's not going to have any Spadef investment, so it's not going to take a Draco Meteor that I could potentially be packing. There's no way in hell he leaves it in, and it gives me a free defog as he goes into his Sylveon. And Sylveon is just fine because that means I can fire off an Iron Tail if he wasn't Quick Attack Sylveon. This is the second turn that really, really affects the game massively. He has teched return on this Sylveon. Had I fired off a big Iron Tail there, I would have been in a better position, but I had no idea that this thing would be teching a Quick Attack. I thought I could just click Iron Tail there and do massive damage on it. Obviously, that's not the case. That is a huge bring, amazing bring. But we go out to Gypsy, and we can just start trying to flinch this thing down. Unfortunately, we don't get the flinch as he fires off a big Wish. We don't really have a better way of killing this. I maybe could have gone Pamela, but that would have just brought the Weezing in again. Maybe that would have been a better play, to be fair. He is able to Wish back up. We go for the Thunder Wave there, thinking that he might want to try and Wish pass back into his Weezing, potentially. And if we can Power Flinch his Weezing down, that's going to be amazing for Lopunny. And here we're just going to stay in and we're just going to keep clicking Air Slash. We get the first flinch there and we're like, okay, this is fine. We're just going to start stalling you out of Wishes or wearing you down. That's okay with me. And we're going to keep spamming that Air Slash because there's no reason not to. He goes into Rotom here and I'm like, okay, this is a roll to 2-hit KO. If he's not Scarf Rotom, we'll be fine. Even if he is, we can take a hit. He is Scarf Rotom. But we can take the hit. He doesn't get the paralysis, which is amazing. And we can fire off a big Air Slash. And we do get the second roll, meaning we kill the Rotom. So that's really, really good. We're in a really, really good position where I know I can roost Gypsy back up on the Sylveon. Rocks aren't in play, and even if they do come out, we're still at a level of health where we can take rocks and then roost up on the Sylveon. So we're not in a bad position. I'm looking at his team now, and from the first few turns where I felt like I was in the back a little bit, he made that really nice double. He got the kill on the Empoleon. He snagged a miss on the paralysis and then got the burn, so I couldn't paralyze the Sylveon. We're kind of just sitting in this position now where I feel like I've started to play my way back into the game. I'm still on the back foot for sure, but I'm looking at his team and I'm thinking, okay, we can kind of kill the Sylveon still with Mega Lopunny. We can kill the Weezing with Mega Lopunny 2 more hits. You know, Mega Lopunny still wins here. We can still do this. If we keep these rocks off and we can minimize the amount of Rocky Helmet damage we have to take, we still kill. He's going to go for a T-Bolt here, so we just go straight into Slowbro. I know that we can live 2 T-Bolts. He only does 42%, but he snags the power, and I'm like, that's fine. We're just going to Ice Beam here, and we're going to do massive damage to Latios, putting it in Fake Out range or killing it. And we get paralyzed. So not only does he get the second 10% paralysis chance, but he actually gets the full para. So we have to go out into Lopunny here. Return always kills. It's fine. He's going to go out into Weezing. It's fine. We get 39%, meaning that this Weezing now drops to a return, and I am laughing until I see the Endure come out, meaning he takes one more return, meaning that Fake Out play that I made earlier perhaps was not the right play. I don't quite know. It just really sucks. I didn't expect Endure Rocky Helmet, putting us down at 11%. Now, crucially, we can come back in on Rocks, but we don't want to take Sand Chip particularly. So I'm thinking, right, okay, this thing's still Fake Out, potentially chips down the Latios. It still potentially hits a lot of things, and importantly, it's kind of sack fodder. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for his Rocks here, so it may be just the best thing to get something in for free that can roost up, that can wear him down, and then keep this in the back as potential sack fodder or Fake Out chip later on. So we decided to preserve Pamela. Again, not entirely sure this was the right play with hindsight, but we decided to preserve Pamela. It makes sense to me at the time, as he gets his Sandstorm up, and the Sandstorm would have just worn me down otherwise, and he would have got Rocks up anyway. So I don't particularly fear this Hippowdon, so I'm just going to roost up on it, and there's no reason not to, as he goes hard into his Sizzle, and I know what's coming here. This is either going to be a Bullet Punch or a Sword Stance. So the only things he's going to go for. There's no way he's going for anything else. So we go hard Talonflame, and he's going to be pretty sure. He told me after the game he actually ran the couch to make sure that he could take out a Talonflame after Rocks if we had a little bit of HP, if we were like speed creeping something and had the rest in HP. He did not expect a Fizz Death Talonflame. I know here that even at +2 we take 40%, and I'm going to overheat this man to oblivion, because even with our negative special attack nature and our 0 special attack investment, I know that we still OHKO this man. So I can't risk roosting up in case he goes for another Bullet Punch, another Sword Stance. I'm just going to go for the overheat now. With hindsight, I should have roosted. We could maybe have snagged the burn on this thing. But I also couldn't risk him switching out, which was a very real possibility. If he went for the Bullet Punch there, we didn't burn him. He might have just switched out, realizing he couldn't kill me. And here we're going to roost up. I expect a Quick Attack to come out, potentially. But I also think he might Hyper Voice, predicting me to switch into the Togekiss. So we do get to roost up on this thing because he goes for that Hyper Voice, trying to punish the switch. And we're in a really good position now because we've managed to just roost up on this thing and get back up to nearly full here. As he goes back out into Hippowdon, we're going to go for one last... we're going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, sorry, predicting the Hippowdon switch. Man, I'm better than I think I am. Going for a Will-O-Wisp on that burn... on that burnt Sylveon, so that we can really take some hits from this Hippowdon. So we roost here. We'll take an Earthquake, even if he goes for it, but I expect him to go for Whirlwind, and I want to be at as much HP as possible when I come back in. And what's really gutting is he Whirlwinds me into Pamela, who dies to Rocks and Sandchip. That sucks. The reason I expected him to Whirlwind is because it was just kind of his best play to get that Talonflame out and make it take Rock's Chip. It was his best way of hitting me. And here I'm just going to Air Slash the Hippowdon and try and flinch it down. He Whirlwinds me again into Talonflame, and here I think I make a bit of a misplay. I decide just to overheat for Chip. I want to wear this thing down so that Togekiss can kill it more easily. Togekiss is 100% my win condition. I'm really looking at this game and I'm thinking what it boils down to is Togekiss beats Hippowdon one-on-one. Togekiss beats Sylveon one-on-one, theoretically, and Togekiss beats Latios one-on-one if Latios, after a T-Wave, is not fast enough to then kill me with Thunderbolt, assuming we land the T-Wave. So what's going to happen is I want to get my Togekiss as healthy as possible, and then have the Latios come in, guaranteed live one Thunderbolt, T-Wave him, and then hopefully outspeed him and roost up, and then kill him. That's the hope. But we're all depending on what that Latios set is. We're assuming it's Scarf, but we don't know for sure. So I go for the overheat here for Chip. Now, I should have just roosted with hindsight, but I didn't know that he didn't have the Earthquake. And if I just roosted here on his Earthquake, I would have died. It would have looked pretty stupid. So I just went for the overheat, as he does, in fact, just go for the Whirlwind. His safer play. I really wish I'd roosted there, but, you know, it happens. And here we bring out the Togekiss, and there's no reason for us not to roost. We want to get as healthy as possible for that Latios, and I was thinking that as well when I overheated with Talonflame, because what this means is he Whirlwinds us out, Talonflame dies to Rocks, Togekiss is back in and can no longer be whirlwinded out, meaning he can no longer chip me down. I am going to be at about 60%, I think. So this is really just going to come down to RNG at this point. The sand is gone. I'm free to just air slash him and kill him. He has to go Latios here. He has to click T-Wave. We have to not get the third 10% paralysis chance of the game. If we can dodge that, and we have to land a T-Wave. He doesn't get the paralysis. We live. We fire off a T-Wave. We paralyze. And at this point, I say, this all depends if he's Scarf. Whether that can still outspeed, I'm not sure. He isn't Scarf, he reveals in the chat, so he can't outspeed. So that means we are free to roost up on this Latios, which is amazing. He can't go into the Sylveon, it doesn't help him at all. He has to just let this thing go down. So we are now in a position where we can just para flinch this Latios down. Amazing. Now, he's going to go into a Sylveon, and this is where the game gets really intense. His Sylveon is sitting at 66%. He has to stall me out of air slashes before I can flinch him down, because he has enough wishes to stall out all of my air slashes. Combined with protect, quick attack, everything else, he just wins the PP war. But if I can flinch him down, I can win this. And this is where missing that T-Wave just came in so clutch, because he was running that quick attack over the heal bell. He wouldn't have had any way of getting rid of it, and we would have undoubtedly won this one-on-one. The odds would have been so stacked in our favour. But here we have a good chance, a good chance of winning this game, and I'm feeling really good, because I feel like, do you know what, this end game, this past 15, 25 turns, I've really brought myself back into it, where I think we were pretty much out of the game. So he goes for the protect, and I completely expect him to protect turn 1 to just try and get rid of an air slash. So I heal bell there. We make the right prediction. We preserve our PP. I know it seems a bit anal, but it's got to be done. We fire off an air slash. Unfortunately, oh, we do get the flinch here. We do get the flinch. So we're like, okay, one more flinch, and we win. If we flinch here, we win. And we heal bell thinking that he's going to protect, knowing that, and he fires off a wish. I overpredict badly, and we're now fighting an uphill battle. I fire for T-Wave here because I think he'll protect. He hyper voices. Good play, and we're really in this. We're really in this where we're like trying to stall each other's PP. I can stall him out of wishes and protects. He has the same amount of wishes that I have air slashes, so it is possible. And we get a flinch here with the air slash, but we've just got to read each other. It's such an intense reading game at this point. And he goes for the protect here, as I do fire off an air slash, so he gets one there. So annoying, so annoying. This is going to be a bit of a theme. We're always second guessing each other at this point. I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit because there's no point. We get an air slash here, we get a flinch. One more flinch, and we win. One more flinch, and we win. We fire off an air slash. He doesn't get flinched. He gets the wish off. His best play is always to protect here. So we fire off a Thunder Wave. He gets back up. You're seeing a pattern emerging. Let's speed it up a little bit more. Here, he goes for the double protect as we air slash, and he gets it. He gets the double protect. What a play. I can't knock him for it. Like, it was a really smart play. And then we don't get the flinch, and he gets another wish off, meaning here he can protect. We can't kill, so we Thunder Wave. He goes back up. Then we air slash. Oh, we Thunder Wave again, expecting him to just trying to stall him out of PP at this point. We're really just trying to stall him out of PP. I'm trying to click air slash as little as I can, trying to stall him out of PP. He goes for a quick attack. I go for a heal bell, and I'm realizing at this point that he's just going to keep spamming offensive moves unless I pressure him to do otherwise. So I'm going to start going for some flinches here, and this really is our last chance. Because of the PP, we need to get something going this time, or maybe one more. So we air slash there on his quick attack. We air slash again as he fires off a wish. And now here we are in the turn that changes the whole game. We are in one of multiple 50-50s. I have enough air slashes left that if he gets back up to full, I have one more chance. If I flinch with every air slash from full, that's 2 in a row. All I need is 2 in a row. If I flinch 2 in a row from what he's going to get up to, I think it's 2 in a row, I win. And I think I have like 3 left at this point. 4 maybe. So I have enough. If he doesn't protect here and I air slash, he dies. He dies flat out. if I air slash here and he protects, I can't win without a crit. So we're really in this position where if he protects and I air slash, he wins without a crit. If he doesn't protect and I heal battle, he goes back up to full and I've got one more chance to try and air slash him down. So in my opinion, my best play is to not air slash. His best play, his safest play is to protect, but his best play might be not to protect, to preserve his PP, as stupid as that sounds. But I could kill him. Now, every other time I've gotten this low and he's got a wish off, he's protected and I've Thunder Waved. This time, I have a really tough choice to make. And I decide to Thunder Wave. As he doesn't protect, he Hyper Voices and he gets back up to full. Now, I still have enough P to win from here. I need to flinch the next 2 to win. That's why that turn was so huge, because had I air slash there, we won the game. Had I air slash there, we just won the game. No ifs, buts, and maybes. Maybe we missed the air slash. Other than that, we won the game. Now, I still have a second chance to win the game. I just need double flinch. So I'm like, okay, he got me. He got me. He has cojones the size of England. He got me. But I still have a chance. I still have a chance. So I'm like, I still think I made my optimal play. Because if I air slash there on the protect, I didn't have a chance. I didn't have the PP. So I'm like, okay, last chance saloon. Last chance saloon. We're going to go for this. He goes for the protect. I go for the roost because I just know the protect is coming this time. I air slash. We get the first flinch. I air slash again on his protect. But I think I still have enough PP. I think I had enough for one protect in the chain. And we don't get the second flinch. And that's GG. That's it. From there, that's GG. I can't win the PP war unless I get a crit air slash. There is no way I can win, and air slash has as much of a chance to miss, a higher chance to miss as it does to crit. So that's it. This plays out. Eventually, I say to him, we PP stall for a while as I try and fish for a crit, maybe a crit flinch, maybe. But after a while, I realize that I just don't have a chance. So I say, look, I'm going to spam heal bell, and you can hyper voice me down. I was gonna forfeit the game. I was just gonna, and not in a salty way at all. I think that was clear from the chat that I was not salty. I think he deserved to win this game. I was just like, there's no point in us dragging this out until one of us struggles to death. You can hyper voice me. It's cool. And Jack was super nice after this win. He said in the chat that he felt I deserved to win this game. Perhaps I don't necessarily agree. I definitely think I got unlucky, but I do not think Jack got lucky. And there is a big difference, and I've said this before in my PB game against Elliot. Pokemon is a game with RNG involved. And if you want to click off if you're bored of this, then thank you so much for watching, and by all means, because I'm gonna go on a little mini rant right now. Pokemon is a game full of RNG, right? On both sides. It goes both ways. You know, we picked up that 30% skull burn on the Sylveon, which essentially lost us a game. But that 30% skull burn on the Wheezing, the Mega Sizzle, anything else might have won us this game. It just happened to be on the Mon that lost the game, and that's because he switched in the Mon that wanted to get burnt, knowing that I would probably scold that turn and couldn't risk the Ice Beam on the Latios, which is the other Pokemon that would have got burnt and resisted the hit. So he made the play where it was like, hey, like I could actually do with a burn here. He made the right play. I probably made the wrong play scolding there. I probably should have just Ice Beamed again. I was like, extra chip on the Sylveon. If we get a burn, it wears it down. It helps for damage rolls. Yeah, I probably misplayed there. Myself. So that's what I would really say in this game. That, you know, yes, and the Thunder Wave miss, of course, from Togekiss was a really defining moment. It sucked, but Thunder Wave has a chance to miss. It's not Glare. It has a chance to miss. That's what happens. And I really don't feel like I can complain at the end of this game, because from turn 2, when he made that double into Latios, Jack just played this game near flawless. He allowed me to get back in a little bit with the Hippowdon and stuff. His build there. His Hippowdon had like Whirlwind, Ice Fang, Stealth Rock, and then like Slack Off or something. I didn't even know it had Slack Off. Whirlwind, I don't know. But either way, he didn't have Earthquake on his, or Stone Edge on his Hippowdon. So maybe like one or two of his sets didn't work out right in the match. But I can't fault his play. I really can't. I thought he played this game superbly. So yeah, that's my little mini tirade. I think that what we have to bear in mind when RNG is involved is it's okay to say that you got unlucky. It's okay to say that you could have done better had you got things more in your favor. What I don't think is okay to say is that your opponent didn't deserve their win because of that in any way, shape, or form. 95% of the time, I might have won this game had the Thunder Wave landed. I might. But there was another, 80 turns at least after that turn where I could have won the game by making different plays, where Jack could have come back even if I had T-Wave to Sylveon. So it's just not like I got unlucky, he did not get lucky. That's the end of my tirade. I just had to say this because I'm seeing a lot recently. I watch a lot of competitive Pokemon, I'm around a lot of people in competitive Pokemon, and I see a lot of complaining about hacks, and I think it's fair. Like, I think when you lose to hacks, you have every right. You know, I would have every right to go to my front office right now and say, man, I'm so pissed off. If I had landed that T-Wave, if I had done this, I would have won. I have every right to say that, but what you never, ever, ever have a right to do is take it away from your opponent. Never. And I mean, unless your opponent wants to rub it in your face. If Jack after this game had been like, oh man, you suck, you never had a chance, then maybe. But if your opponent is gracious, then you should always be too, and you should never take it away from them. That is my rant over. You can tell it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I am tired and just off on one. Just I don't know. That's my mini rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Shout out to Jack. No one's still watching at this point in the video. If you're still watching at this point in the video, let me know. I doubt anyone is. But yeah. GG to my man Jack, a very, very well-deserved win, and honestly, just such a good guy. I hope so much we get to rematch in playoffs, not because I especially think I'll beat him. His matchup against me is insane. this is the worst matchup I've had all season. His draft is super cool, but just because I really like Jack, and he always, like, this was such a great game. This is what I play Pokemon for, games like this. I just enjoyed it thoroughly, regardless of the RNG. So yeah, GG to him, and thank you again to Aquarius. If you're still watching Aquarius, you're a hero. Thank you so much for building my team. I'm sorry that I tweet things. That's what I do. I can't just be past a team. I have to put my own fingerprint on it. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we can bounce back. We are now 4-2 in ABC. That's not what I wanted to go to. I wanted to go 5-1, but hopefully we can bounce back. Next week we take on my man Socrates, a player who is 2-0 against us. He's never lost to us, and the runner-up in Season 1 of the ABC. So definitely a huge opponent. Currently, I believe he is either 4-1 or yeah, he's 4-1 at the minute too. So that is going to be a huge game. I don't know his Week 5 result just yet, but that being said, guys, thank you so much for loafing around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.